Rolling.
And there we go, we're rolling. Hi everybody, my name is Mike Warner. We are here at Hope Lutheran Church in Greece, New York. I am the 4th and 5th grade large group teacher. By the way, in 2 weeks, Sunday school opens up here, at least for the 4th and 5th graders. And we'll see how that goes. If you haven't gotten a hold of Mrs. Kilbride, I would get a hold of her now and see if you can't get in on the initial opening of Sunday school for us. Again, only the 4th and 5th graders. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how the Greece schools go, and we will progress beyond that as things look. Hopefully things are getting better. I pray as much. There are 2 types of arks, by the way. There's 2 types of arks we talk about in the Bible. One type of ark is the ark that Noah built. You remember Noah? He put 2 types of every animal in the ark. So the ark was something that God told Noah to build, kind of like a big box, and you put stuff in it. In this case, you put animals in it. Well, there's another type of ark, and this was called the Ark of the Covenant. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was something, again, God said, build it this way, and they built this thing, and I don't know, maybe it was a little bit longer than the desk here, maybe it was about that high, it was covered gold on the outside, there were 2 poles to carry it, and 2 Arab angels, cherubs. That's what you get when you combine angel and cherub. There were 2 cherubs on top, and they had wings, and they were like that over the top of the Ark of the Covenant, like that. And it's kind of funny. I'm not sure God lived either around it or in it or with it, but that was where God was present with the people of Israel in the Ark of the Covenant. People ask, is it still around today? And I got to tell you, is the Ark of the Covenant still around today? I don't know. Everyone says they know where it is. I don't think anybody knows where it is, but who knows? Okay, today, this month, actually, we're talking about being wise, Solomon being wise. And so, let's talk about that, being wise and not so wise. My videographer here is Alyssa. Let's see how smart Alyssa is, or not. Alyssa, yeah. Answer this. Each one of these questions. Something, is this wise or not wise? Labeling things that belong to you, like toys or books with your name. Wise or not?
It depends. Are you taking them to a public space?
Wise or not?
Sure, wise.
Wise. Oh. Eating 6 pieces of pepperoni pizza right before bedtime, and I know you've done that. Wise or not?
Not wise.
Not wise.
Why
Okay.
are you calling me out today?
Studying a little bit every night before a big test.
Wise.
Okay, that's wise, yeah. Lending a pencil to a classmate who forgot to bring theirs.
It's wise.
And it's nice, too. Okay, how about bringing a spare pencil in your bag? That's wise.
Yep.
Okay, waiting to start a school project at 10 o'clock the night before.
Not wise.
Reading the instruction manual before you put together a brand new bike.
Wise.
Wise. Telling a friend you think their new haircut, you tell them it's nice, but it really, really stinks.
Not wise.
I don't know. Should you be honest with them or not? I don't know.
Depends on the type of friend you're talking about.
Depends on the haircut.
Well, that too.
Telling an adult when someone is doing something that you think is dangerous and you know they're going to get hurt.
Wise.
I'd say that's wise too. So everything we evaluate to see whether it's wise or not. The Bible story. Mom and Dad, and the kids too, we are in the book of 1 Kings. Chapter 8 is verses 1 through 21. I'm not reading this word for word. I'm kind of paraphrasing it. So Mom and Dad, if you want to go over this and read it later on with the kids, go ahead and do that. It's not a bad, it's only 21 verses. So King Solomon, he built the temple in Jerusalem. And it was big. I mean, it was huge. Part of it's still there today. The west wall is still there. So 3,000 years later? King Solomon summoned into his presence in Jerusalem all the elders of Israel, all the heads of the tribes, and the chiefs of all the families. He brought them all together in Jerusalem. When they arrived, the priests took up the ark, and they brought the ark of the Lord and the tent of meeting. Remember the tent of meeting that they built when they were out in the desert? Well, they're in Jerusalem now, so they bring the tent of meeting and the Ark of the Covenant, and they bring it into the new temple. And they brought it into the inner sanctuary, because there's the outside of the temple, there's the inner section of the temple, there's an inner section of the temple, and then there's the really inner sanctuary. They brought it in there and set it down. It was called the most holy place. When they withdrew from this most holy place and walked away from the ark, this most holy place, this room, maybe it was about as big as this room here. It was filled with a cloud, and the priest could not perform any more of the service because this cloud was so thick. The cloud was actually the presence of God. He came down to be at the Ark of the Covenant to show the people he was there, the actual presence of God. Totally cool. So Solomon told the people, my father David had it in his heart to build a temple for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord said to my father David, you are not the one to build the temple. That's not my plan. Your son Solomon, your own flesh and blood, he's the one that will build the temple in my name. God says, this is my plan. This is what we're going to do. So David didn't build the temple. Solomon built this huge, beautiful temple. Solomon said, God has kept the promise that he made to my father. I succeeded my father David. Now I sit on the throne of Israel, just as the Lord had promised. I had built the temple for the Lord my God, the Lord of Israel. I have provided a place there for the Ark of the Covenant. It's the covenant that the Lord made when he told our ancestors, I will bring you out of Egypt, and I will bring the 10 Commandments with you. King Solomon put a lot of time and effort into bringing the Ark of the Covenant to the temple. The Ark was more than a box. It meant a lot to God's people. It meant they had a relationship with God. He was with them. Everything that God said would happen, it did. That's the big idea this week. God can be trusted. We got to cover this real quick. The 10 Commandments. There was stuff inside this box. It wasn't just an empty box. There was the rod of Jesse. It was a staff that Jesse used to walk around. There was a bowl of manna. Remember the manna that came down when they were out in the desert? There was a bowl of that inside. But the most important thing was the 10 Commandments on the stone tablets, about that big, maybe 2 of them. The 10 Commandments were also inside the Ark of the Covenant. If we ever find the Ark of the Covenant, I suspect that the 10 Commandments, the 2 stone tablets, will still be in there. That would be totally cool. 10 Commandments, and I tried to memorize these. I can't, so I got them written down. Go through them real quick. Now, listen to what I'm telling you with the 10 Commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves an idol. That's like you build a little idol there and you worship that. Don't do that. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. That means don't swear using God's name. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. That's Sunday. Honor your father and your mother. I'm sorry, did we hear that? Honor your father and your mother. And actually what it says in the Bible is, honor your father and your mother that all may go well with you for the rest of your life. I'm building my temple here and I forgot to keep going on it. You shall not murder. Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it, Alyssa? Mm-hmm. Don't murder anyone today. You shall not commit adultery. Well, that's an adult thing. We're not going to discuss that now. You shall not steal. Well, that kind of makes sense. You shall not give false testimony. And you shall not covet. Covet means, I really like the new sneakers you got. I wish I had those sneakers. I may take those sneakers. 10 Commandments. Okay, easy one is you shall not murder. Okay, that one right off the start. But kids, matter of fact, let's ask Alyssa this.
Oh.
Alyssa, which one do you think is toughest for you today in this world keep?
Um,
I got my opinion. What's yours?
it's probably, I think it's probably either, probably the you shall not lie, because you're always tempted to, do white lies sometimes, either to preserve somebody's feelings or to get out of trouble,
Would it be number 2? Would it be number 2?
Number 2?
Yep.
I mean, is that your opinion?
Oh, actually, that's my opinion too. Is lying, even fibs, little white lies and stuff like that.
Well,
I think
that's
we
what I
all
said.
do it. And yeah.
Yeah.
But number 2 is, I think, thou shalt not covet. Sitting there wishing I had something else. I see a guy driving down the road in a Cadillac. I say, wow, I wish I had his Cadillac. Well, that's coveting. You shouldn't. You shouldn't really be like that. Lying, that's a big one that we can do today. God says don't be doing these things because it's not good for you. God keeps his promises. He kept his promises to Solomon and the people of Israel. He got them to the promised land. He built the temple. People built the temple, but under God's tutelage. And then they put the Ark of the Covenant in the inner part of the temple. It's everything God said would come to happen. Building the temple, putting the Ark of the Covenant in there. It all happened the way he said it was. God keeps his promises. The 10 Commandments, we can keep promises to God too by watching the 10 Commandments, making sure we don't fib, and making sure we're not jealous of other people and what they've got, like that new pair of sneakers your buddy got. Memory verse. We've not been going through those. We're going to start going through those again. The memory verse is James, chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. That says, if you don't know what's happening, if you're confused about something, sit down in prayer with God. Just ask him, God, show me the way. And he should straighten your mind out and make your path clear to you. Videographer, we are done.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week. You'll see Miss Tina the week after. The week after, we will be live here in church for 4th and 5th grade, but we will also be streaming it live, or at least can, online. So if you can't make it into church yet, and I understand that, watch for the video the next 2 weeks and every week thereafter. And if you see me, make sure you see Carl too. I love Carl's videos. I think they are a riot. He's got the worst sweaters in the world, but I think he's funny. And that's it for this week.